Okay, this is a quick video looking at a potential future project, which is Panzer Grenadier Modern, which is Sword of Israel 1967, the Six-Day War. Now, this is just an initial impressions. I'm going to be a bit hard on this game. Now, first thing, the first scenario, I thought, oh yes, a one mapper, that will be quite easy. Very soon into the setting up, I discovered that's possibly one of the most heavy battles, certainly on a one map, there possibly is. I think this game would definitely benefit from a couple of say starter tutorial type missions right at the front. I have managed to find another scenario which is a bit more manageable, which is a Israeli assault on a Syrian-held hill in the Golan Heights. Now, one thing I will say about, let's have a look at component quality. Now, I have got some earlier Panzer Grenadier stuff, and it's a vast improvement on that. Certainly these maps are brilliant compared to the awful maps that are in, say, something like Eastern Front, Road to Berlin, whatever it is. Counters, they're okay apart from the fact they're side mounted. So when you cut them out, they've got these horrible little nibs everywhere. Admittedly, I'm going through them, sort of rubbing them down and stuff like that, and trying to improve the look on them, but it's not acceptable in this day and age to have counters on there. Put them so they're corner mounted, and then you can clip them and make them look good, because even these are clipped, they're still not very good. They need an extra bit of work to make them fully presentable. So that I'm not happy about. Another thing is, although the charts and things that come in with the game are vastly better than the awful charts that came with the old game, you're getting like a turn marker. Yeah, but there's more to a turn than just the thing. There's also a day. There's no day marker, but there's a game turn marker. So you're supposed to keep your day marker totally separate. You're going to just have to record that somewhere else, because this particular scenario, I'm not sure, I think it's about 22 turns. So I'm going to have to record that 22 turns somewhere else, because there's nowhere to record it on the game charts and things. Another problem we had almost straight away is this scenario, the terrain is treated as rocky. You go off to your Panzer Grenadier Modern terrain effects chart that comes with this game, and rocky isn't on it. Now, I have subsequently found rocky terrain on the Panzer Grenadier Second World War terrain effects charts, which I believe I've got a copy somewhere. So 4th edition charts. That's not brilliant, really isn't. You do actually get a sheet, if I can quickly find it, which has these terrain effects, and rocky's there on there. But to be quite honest, these two charts need putting together. You need to have a full colour chart showing the terrain hex examples, smaller examples of this, with all the terrain effects next to it. It's not asking much, really, in this day and age. We've got these other charts. I don't know, I haven't really started looking at these two charts here, the bombardment direct or AA5 value charts. They look pretty presentable. Now, another thing about corner mounted counters is there are some corner mounted counters that come with the game. The markers are all corner mounted. So I don't know. So there's a lot of scenarios. I think there's 50 scenarios that come with this particular game, but I've heard that some of them are just totally one-sided. It's a shame there isn't something in there that sort of gives you the balance, scenario balance, or a way of balancing a scenario if you wanted to. In terms of finding things for setup and everything, yeah, I was reasonably okay, apart from the fact, oddly enough, the full strength side of the counter is on the rear, which is, well, it's not the end of the world, but it's very unusual. In fact, I've never ever seen full size on the back of the counter and reduced on the front, but there you are. Another thing I don't like is the way it uses the actual terms for the ranks. Now, I'd rather it said major, captain, lieutenant stuff. I don't want to know if he's a Molazaram or a Naqib or a Rafid, because that means the way this system works is like there's a strict hierarchy, and to move everything, to move large numbers of units at once, you need them so you've got your highest rank probably surrounded by your lesser ranks and stuff like that. But if you don't understand what the actual ranking is, it's annoying. I do notice that in the really old module I've got, the German commanders are actually, there's two sets of counters. There's one where they're given sort of normal ratings, and then there's others where they're all Oberwerfer, Kampfmaster or whatever, the German equivalents. So I'm messing around with it. I've had a look at a couple of videos, one by Rough Swordsman, and I've also had a look at ID Jester's videos. So I've got a reasonable idea of how this plays, so I'm just messing with it. So it's a candidate for the next project, though for me it's very unusual because it's got such a small table presence, which is not normally my style.